Hey, Keith. Hey, Rob.
Hello. I see 3 keys. Holy smokes.
Now there's 3 Keiths.
Well, yeah, that's how you get a full house.
For sure, that's how you get a full house.
Bum.
Dun-dun-dun.
See what I'm doing? I'm bringing the comedy gold right off the bat because the pre-show is already live, yo.
Hi there, Alpha Geek.
No, Alpha Geek's not live, just the pre-show.
Oh.
Sorry. Confused my terms.
This isn't pre-show, it's show.
Show. Come
Get
on.
this, gold leaf off of my beer so I don't have to wait.
Show.
Holy smokes.
So somebody kick the other me's out of here.
This is like
Okay.
this is like unwrapping those chocolate coins you get for Easter.
Chocolate coins.
Dude, that was like the worst chocolate ever.
I know it was. It was all sugary.
But it was like
in white.
But it was like it's chocolate. I mean, it is chocolate, and it's wrapped up like money. So
yeah, it must be
gotta
good.
be good.
Did you used to save the foils to try to reuse as money, as pretend money? I used to do that.
No.
No, I always took them apart so carefully so I could put them back together empty and then pretend I had gold doubloons.
Like Keith Seifert Jr. counterfeiter.
That's right.
I mean, the gold coins, man. We used to use for Easter. We used to hide jelly beans in the house.
Jelly beans?
Jelly beans, yeah.
That's obnoxious to try to find jelly beans.
Yeah,
they're really small.
Just in the house.
Well, yeah, we
like
hid
in
eggs.
the living room.
We hid eggs.
Yeah, but if you hid eggs in a small room, in a room like that, you'd find them in a quick. Jelly beans.
Not if you're a good hider.
Oh.
Easter Bunny was better hider at our house.
Oh. All right. Everything was better at your house.
Except the chocolate.
That's because I lived on the ridge and you lived under the ridge.
Yeah, you get the kind of the stock Easter baskets that were like pre-wrapped that had the chocolate bunny in it and other stuff. Uh-huh. And you'd unwrap. I mean, you think, ooh, a chocolate bunny. Well, first of all, it was hollow. Second of all, the chocolate in there wasn't that much better than the chocolate coin chocolate.
Right.
And then third, you'd unwrap it and it would have eyes on it, and they'd be like these blue and yellow candies that they'd stick on the eyes, or stick on the eye of the chocolate part where the eyes would go. But the problem was, mass-marketed, mass-produced chocolate or candy eyes, the pupils were never quite, center and calming and gentle bunny rabbit eyes. They kind of like were askew. So you're looking at it and it was like an alien. So I always ate those eyes first, and then I basically just blinded my rabbit.
And to this day, that's how Rob eats his rabbit.
Yeah,
always eyes first.
You blind the rabbit and then you eat it. But they can't run away.
Not as easily, anyway.
Oh. And then sometimes some Easters they'd get Peeps, which Peeps are just the worst.
Oh, Peeps are the best. I love Peeps.
Peeps worse.
And I have a thing for you. I've probably said this before, but there is an amazing thing you can do with Peeps and queso.
No, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
Oh yeah, I am dead serious. It doesn't make any sense, and everybody I make try this thinks I'm nuts until they try it. You take a Peep, a sugar-coated marshmallow Peep. You dip it in queso, like just regular off-the-shelf canned jarred queso dip, and consume that, and it is a taste experience like you will not believe.
I think it would probably be a taste experience.
I also think that
I'm telling
hydrochloric.
you,
I think
it's
a
delicious.
shot. I think a shot of hydrochloric acid would also be a taste experience. I wouldn't believe, but
Yes, but
that's
a taste experience you can only do once.
I think this would be too.
No, I'm telling you, I actually eat these with my friends every year now. It is in all seriousness, a surprisingly delicious thing. Even my wife has gone, okay, that really shouldn't taste that good.
Folks, I mean, it's well documented that Keith loves cheese.
I do love cheese.
Really loves cheese.
Cheese makes everything better, including Peeps.
With the love of that cheese comes some eccentricity. And you're just going to have to learn to accept the fact.
I'm telling you, Rob, do yourself a favor and try that.
I'm going to do myself a favor.
You are.
Do not do that.
You should.
So does it matter what color your peep is?
No, because they're all
That's
the same.
What she said.
Oy. All right, so should we start a show?
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
what we
let's
should
get
do.
it started. Gary should be here shortly.
And I'm thirsty.
Hey, Jeremy, I have a question.
I have an answer.
Okay. How many episodes, over under, how many episodes do you think it will take before Keith starts asking, what episode is it?
I didn't ask today, did I?
I mean, we're at number 2. So
I think he can
How
still
many?
count on one hand, so
I
I'm
say it's
going
like
to say
6.
6.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
right,
it's not going to make
6.
it that long.
Mhm.
It's not going to make it that long. 3 or 4, I'm not going to remember whether or not we've done 3 or 4. The first time we miss one, I'm definitely doomed.
Well, I mean, it happens too when we take a break, because I'm
Right,
assuming
that's what I'm
we're
saying. If we
taking a
miss
break.
we
We're
miss a
taking
show,
a break next week.
or if I miss a show, yeah, so we're not going to remember. So probably next
You
week.
say
next
we,
time.
but we do. You just don't.
Whatever. You're
Okay.
perfect in every way,
I
Rob.
wish it was
Not
written
every
down
way.
somewhere.
Just most of the ways.
Could we put it somewhere that we could all see?
Yeah, could we write it down somewhere?
Like a central location?
Yeah. That'd be a great idea.
I'll work on that.
I'm going to move this over here because this is where your faces are, so I can actually... There. All right, you can start, Keith.
Y'all have to be quiet.
Why? So you
I'm
can...
not entirely sure why.
So he can say the number that we'll soon forget in a couple of weeks. It's
Is it
funny
season
that
2, episode 4?
It's
Or is
funny
it
that-
season 4, episode 2?
it's funny that he's the one that does that.
What?
When the rest of us actually know what episode it is, because we either just know it or we look at the document, he's the one. He doesn't look at the document. He doesn't know what episode it is. He's the one that announces it.
Yep. It's because none of y'all would do it.
One of life's little ironies. Hey! Now we can start.
Sorry.
Now we
Had to
can
get the
start.
beer. Had to get the beer out of the fridge.
Well, we haven't played the music yet, so you're okay.
No.
And we won't until Rob stops talking.
How many Keiths are there in this podcast?
All of them. It's a full house, is my joke. I'm running with it.
The answer is all of them.
Okay.
Welcome to PNRShow Season 4, Episode 2, SamL Nut Brown.
I'd rather have lager than life. I'll take a strong stout over strife. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale than live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. So bring me lager for life. I'd rather have lager than life.
Good evening, one and all. Welcome to your weekly podcast excellence. I might have just stolen something from Rush Limbaugh. Something like that. Welcome to the Pint of No Return Show, a different type of excellence. We are a weekly podcast dedicated to drinking beer, having a good time, and trying to teach Keith how to count. And we are in season
7.
episode 2, and tonight we're going to be getting our nuts brown with Samuel. I don't know why I said that at all. Samuel Smith Nut Brown Ale. This was a kind of a last minute. I don't want to say last minute. We decided yesterday. Kind of a last minute addition to the show, and this is actually This is actually a holdover, not a holdover, but a former beer from the old Happy Time Magic Hour days. We did Nut Brown Ale. Oh gosh, must be now 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, probably that long.
And I haven't had it since then, so who knows how my lovely palate has changed. But I digress. First off, we have to introduce our co-hosts. We have Gary, Jeremy, and Keith. Gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to episode 2.
Hey, Rob.
Howdy.
Good to see you.
How are we all doing this evening?
I was waiting for you to introduce me 3 times.
No,
It's like multiplicity.
you guys can't see this, but when we're in our Google Chat window, our Hangout window, there's a small little bank of pictures of us that we can click on and bring it up to the large screen. So each of us are down there. Keith is down there 3 times.
Actually, if you're watching on the YouTube video, you can see it too.
Oh, hey, there you go. So
How would Rob know that, though?
Yeah, Rob wouldn't know that.
I wouldn't any more than Keith knows what's on the outline for tonight, but that's okay.
Fair point.
Touche. So, quick little plugs here. We want to thank the Poxy Boggards for the use of their theme music. Stu Venable over at the Poxy Boggards is a great guy and allows us to use that music to announce our show. It's a great song. You can find their stuff on iTunes or at poxyboggards.com, POXYBOGGARDS.com. Are we now live on Alpha Geek?
Yes, of course we are.
Hello, Alpha Geek, Channel 3. For those of you who listen to us on podcasts, we also, you can listen to us live on the nights that we record by going to tunein.alphageekradio.com. Visit our website, PNRShow.com, or email us at pnrshow@gmail.com. And finally, the Twitters. Gary is at Always Breaking. Jeremy is at Jeremy Brooks. Keith is at Wolfman K. And I am at Rebrob, REBROB. Gentlemen, is there any feedback this evening other than your general distaste for waiting so long to drink?
Our one fan from Facebook.
Beer suggestions.
Oh,
We had beer suggestions from our fan.
That's true.
fan. I love it. Call him. He's our fan. Fan.
He's our one brave enough to actually interact with us outside the show.
What is he suggesting that we drink?
Well, he suggested the new weird Guinness stuff, their Nitro IPA and their Budweiser clone, apparently.
Ah, okay.
The Guinness Blonde American Lager.
Which we are picking up for the show. We will be doing. I have it chilling in my refrigerator right now.
Yep. So we will be getting to that. And the can you get the IPA there? Did you see that one?
I can get the IPA, yes.
Yeah, he saw it.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that one eventually too. So
Absolutely.
the fans ask and we deliver.
It'll be great. So, but I can't go too much farther into the show because Gary starts to blow up our chat room with "Let's drink, please." So let's go to our beer. We're going to the Samuel Smiths, the old Brits that we love so much out of York's, England, brewed at the old Tadcaster Brewery, established 1758. This is an oldie but a goodie. Samuel Smith's Nut Brown Ale. Let's see, what do we got? It's brewed in Samuel Smith's small traditional brewery with well water. The original well sunk in 1758 and still in use. We're drinking water from a well dug in 1758.
The beer is fermented in stone vats.
Yes, Yorkshire Squares.
Yep. And the horses, the Tadcaster horses, make deliveries 7 days a week still to local breweries with delivering the kegs to local bars. So if you go to their website, you can see pictures of the horses and them making their rounds.
It has such a delightful British ale aroma.
Yorkshire Squares sounds like a candy, doesn't it?
It does. But they're actually giant square stone fermentation.
There's Yorkshire pudding.
That's good.
So we've got barley malt, roasted barley, yeast, and aromatic hops. It's relatively dry with a rich amber brown color and nutty flavor derived exclusively from small amounts of dark malt. And we're at about 5% alcohol by volume.
Well, you're making me thirsty.
Yeah, let's pour it up and drink. It is a very, very nutty brown.
It's got a nice head, not too big.
Yeah. Pours maybe like a dark, slightly darker cream soda-y, maybe?
Borderline root beerish.
Yeah. So, it is nutty smelling. I am ready to drink. Are you gentlemen ready to drink?
Keith is drinking.
Oh,
Oh.
I thought we already were.
I couldn't wait anymore.
Season 4, Episode 2 is underway. Prost to you. All right, I want to just be in a British pub right now.
Have some bangers and mash.
Fish and chips,
Some
please.
Nut brown ale on the side.
Fish and chips. Fish and chips. Fish and chips.
I'm looking to see exactly where Tadcaster, England is, because we're planning a trip to
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. It's York's, England.
No,
Yorkshire.
yeah, we're not going up there. North. On to London and Paris this summer, and we will not be getting that far north in England. So,
Well, that's a shame. It is pretty far up there.
yeah, it's like
It's closer to Scotland than London.
it's up there. Not that England is huge, but
No,
we have an amount of time or money. So
anything is really accessible by train. It's about, I'm going to say, maybe 80 to 100 miles east of Liverpool. Sure. Yeah. When are you going to England?
So, anyway, June.
Oh, exciting! I loved. Are you going to Scotland too, or just England?
Just England, France.
Oh man, you could hardly recommend. If anybody can wrangle a trip into Scotland, please do it. It's one of the greatest places in the world.
We talked about it, but
Yeah.
you know,
All
next
right,
time.
to the beer.
Beer.
Gary,
Beer.
since you were speaking just then, what do you think of nut brown ale?
It's beer. It's actually I don't know. I've had this before, but it's been a while. I'm trying to see how I rated this before. I rated this 4 on Untapped, and I would be consistent with that as a style goes. For the brown ale and especially the English ales, this is really good. It's got a nice body. It's got a nice flavor profile. Without trying to be too much more than it is. It's a very traditional ale style, and I do like brown ales. So if it's not a stout or an IPA, this is a good option to take. So I'll give it an 8 in our rating to be consistent with mine.
Oh, remember, we got to hold the ratings.
Yep. We're going to drink the beer throughout the episode. So maybe
Okay.
Gary's rating will change. Who knows? On this kooky madcap podcast we have.
You know, all this change stuff is making it really hard on me.
It was one change.
I know. It is
was
tough.
one change.
But you know what? A couple more sips of beer, and you're going to feel a lot better about it.
If that doesn't work,
Okay, fine.
have a shot.
I'm already pouring my second glass.
It could get worse as we go.
I wish I had a second bottle of this. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Yeah,
It's
Jeremy.
a big bottle though.
Yeah, it is a big bottle. It's about a pint,
Well,
right?
Mine came
It's
in
a-
regular-sized bottles, but as a 4-pack. So
1 pint, 2
18
ounces.
ounces.
Mm-hmm.
18 ounces, right?
Jeremy, what are your first impressions?
Actually, pretty flavorful. Flavorful?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Um,
flavorful.
Absolutely.
Flavorful.
That's a good word.
Spell
It's got-
flavorful. That's a
it
level
has-
1 word.
Level 1. FLAVR full.
Yeah, perfect.
It has
Like it.
nice
Try
body.
Web 2.0.
Yeah. The head disappeared really quickly.
That's typical of a British ale, yeah.
And the not a lot of bubbles in there, but more than probably it would have on tap. It has a really nice finish. The bitterness just lingers, but not like a California IPA bitterness would linger. This is just really pleasant, subtle, a really balanced beer. I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to as it warms up. I think the taste will open up a little bit too. I think it's a little bit cold right now.
All All right, Keith. We're revisiting Nut Brown Ale. What do you think?
I think Samuel Smith in general is probably my favorite English beer that's easily accessible here in the States. They do such great stuff that they send over here. At least the Nut Brown is good, and I'm not a huge fan of browns, but this is one of the best. I'm a big fan of their other ones. Their stouts, their oatmeal stout is the classic. Their porter is delicious and a classic English porter. But this is real good. Easy to drink. I'm pouring my second glass shortly. You just can't beat it.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to agree. It's got that really nice kind of burnt toffee, burnt caramel finish to it. The malt's really, really nice and round and rich. I mean, like I was saying at the top, this just makes you want to sit in a pub or just go to a trivia night where you're just kind of sitting around and hanging out or playing darts, and you could just down 4 or 5 of these over the course of a night. It's just really smooth. Really subtle. I know there's not a lot of alcohol in it, but it's enough to get you going after you've had 2 or 3. So, it's wonderful. It's really good. To counteract Keith, I'm actually quite a big fan of brown ales, and this one does not disappoint. So. I'll keep on drinking and see how I feel at the end of the show, and keep on sipping. So, okay, gentlemen, we have a topic this evening. It's our Pint Taken segment, and Keith's going to play music so we can introduce it. Go.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's every week, Keith. Every week.
Really, but you ran into it so fast that I was not ready. All right, so music, you say.
So the Pint Taken segment's coming your way.
Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Now out of copyright.
Is it actually someone's birthday?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm sure it is.
Someone somewhere.
There's a listener that is listening to this on their birthday.
I have to tell you that.
Happy birthday to you.
Do you, maybe I'm the only one that's happened to, but is there a number or a word that you have that for whatever reason just keeps appearing to you like all the time? Like a number you keep seeing everywhere?
Are you asking me what my safety word is?
No. Please no. I never want you to hear your safety word.
Well, that could have a lot of different meanings.
Let me explain.
I'm not sure I want to know why.
Let me explain. For the longest time,
don't explain.
I'm not explaining Keith's safe word. I'm explaining my number thing. For the longest time, 1117 has been a number that I see everywhere, like constantly. I can't tell you how many times I've awoken at night and looked at the clock and it's 11:17, or I see numbers in emails and it's 11:17. It's just everywhere. So of course today, being 11:17, I'm been a little cautious and looking around like, oh my God, maybe today's the day I'm going to die, and it's just been introduced to me. Fortunately, nothing has happened.
You're actually not alone in that, Rob. My wife has had a fixation on the same number for most of her life.
Yeah, well, you know what it dates back to, Keith, actually. Cindy, Amy, and I were once hanging out at Cindy's house one evening, and it was 11:17, and we all three of us just giggled like it was the funniest thing ever that it was 11:17. And since then, that number has just constantly been around me.
Right, and those two girls still do it, too.
It's weird.
It's all three of you, and it is a little creepy. Although I will say that today my wife decided to retake her SATs. So she's kind of reliving the whole 11/17 thing all over again.
Why would she do that?
She's funny that way.
Going back to elementary school.
She's actually attempting to become a tutor for the SATs, and in order to do that, you have to take them. So she is, well, I believe she's actually employed right now by Tutor Doctor. And so my wife will be teaching young children in this area how to take the SATs, and she just got back from them just before the show, and the freak still scored 30-some years later, I think 1370 on them. So
that was my score.
Well done.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to bring up the Cindy aspect of it. Yeah, but the three of us, Cindy,
she took
me,
her
and our
again on 11/17.
So our joint friend Amy, for whatever reason, have 11/17 just always just popping. I don't know what it means. It's really weird. So I was wondering, if any of you other guys ever have a number that just constantly pops up to you.
Well, Keith posted a password in our chat in Slack and had some numbers in it, so I'm guessing that's one of his.
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, enough of that. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but this past summer, in the box office business industry, it was one of the lower attended summers for movies out of the last 10 years. I think it was like the second or third lowest. And what it boils down to is people just aren't attending movies anymore. They're just not going in regular numbers like they used to. For whatever reason, be it that as we get older, we have kids and aren't able to get out. Movies are crap. We no longer have to wait years and years to see a movie. Once it's hit the theaters, it's usually on pay-per-view or out on Netflix or on an HBO or Showtime within 3 or 4 months of it being out. So it's just there's not that desperation where if I don't go see it in the movies, I'll have to wait 2 or 3 years before it comes out on video cassette.
And they cost ridiculous amounts of money.
That was right. Remember, $90.
Yep.
Keith and I rented some video cassettes back in the day that if we had forgotten to get them back on time, we would have paid hundreds of dollars, and the videotapes that we were renting probably would not. We did not have the hundreds of dollars, nor would we have wanted to ask our parents for the money to pay.
Although it would have been worth it.
I'll just say 6 weeks on the campus.
That bicycle was amazing.
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 But I digress. The point of this topic was that with cinema,
only 5%.
with movies,
and Aaron said it was Rob that keeps us on track and straight and narrow.
With movie attendance down so much,
take that, Aaron.
It's no wonder that television has made a huge comeback, especially with the advent of these pay services, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and a bunch of others that have come on, and even the networks are starting to put out their own original programming. CBS All Access being an example, with Star Trek Discovery coming out next year. But what's happening is these mega stars who were used to making $17, $20 million a film are now coming over to the small screen. It was announced today that Meryl Streep, the perennial Academy Award nominee, is going to be going to a Netflix series called The Knicks, and is getting $825,000 an episode. Last week, it was announced that Robert De Niro is going to be doing an upcoming Amazon series produced by David O. Russell, who is a really well-known director of movies. He's going to be getting $750,000 for 20 episodes.
Wow.
Kiefer Sutherland's now getting $300,000 an episode for Designated Survivor. The top 3 guys on Big Bang Theory are getting $1 million an episode. We've had Kevin Spacey on Netflix for 4 years now, making House of Cards, and he's Netflix has committed over $100 million for 2 more seasons of House of Cards. So it's just and I have an article in our show notes that the guys can take a look at. It's just on and on with stars that are now moving over and going to television, where it used to be television was the kind of redheaded stepchild to movies, and no one wanted to be seen on television when they could be instead starring in movies. And now that has reversed. So I put this in front of the guys to see what, if any, insight they might like to bring to the table. Gentlemen.
I still like to go to the movies, and I still do go to the movies, and I picked tonight as a movie. But a lot of the movies suck, and they're spending a lot of money to make movies that aren't earning anything because they're stupid crap movies that nobody even cares about. And the networks, especially the non-broadcast networks, you know, your HBO, Showtimes, AMC, those kinds, they're putting out some pretty compelling content that's getting a lot of attention. So if you're an actor and you want your name to be known and you want to be able to command roles, you have to go where the audience is, and the audience is on streaming services. So it makes sense.
Well, when I said before that it was too expensive, I wasn't actually referring to the VHS tapes at the time. I was talking about going to the movies.
Yeah.
And the problem is now is they've built they've changed most of the theaters, I think most of the theaters in the country, over to these luxury seats and reserve only seats. At least, you know, even here in Bodunk, Rochester, they've done that in most of them. And it would try to make it worth the money you're paying for, but still, unless you're going to a giant tentpole movie that you pretty much already know everybody's going to love, it's a real crapshoot as to whether or not you're getting your money's worth out of it. So I think a lot of people are just staying home. And Rob says to watch on the small screen, but most of us have got large screens in our
correct.
living rooms.
Yeah, right. We have mini movie theaters.
We have mini movie theaters in our house with for under $600 you can get a good sized screen and a surround sound system these days, and that's a great investment if you compare taking the family out to the movies, because that's like 6 trips out to the movies and it's paid for. So I don't know. It's what I'm more interested in seeing now is a lot of stuff is starting to come straight there or release same. We're seeing a few movies that have come out for release on TV and at the movie theater at the same time, and I think that's kind of interesting.
But it's not only
telling of where we are.
It's not only that, and I'm sorry, Jeremy, that we're talking about this. I know you're probably just looking for another beer to drink.
Well, I understand the reason people don't go to movies.
I mean, it's it's not like we're waiting, on pins and needles for these films to come over to broadcast TV or to streaming either. Like as Gary was saying, the content that's being put out now is so good that and I haven't gone to see a Doctor Strange yet, which is really on my my short list of things to go. But I may have a couple more weeks before it leaves the theater. But at the end of the day, I'm thinking to myself, if I miss it, it's okay. I'll still see it. I'll still probably get it on disc or whatever, or I'll be able to watch it in my home. But I kind of do enjoy that movie going experience. But it's not as live or die as it used to be for me. And in the meantime, there are so many good. I have a backup, a backed up set of series or TV specials that I want to watch that I haven't seen yet, that are just kind of log jammed up that I can watch anytime I want. So I don't really have an impetus to go out and spend a bunch of money for the movies, like Keith was saying. It's just not.
It's interesting that the TV shows, they can crank them out a lot faster, and maybe part of that is they don't have so much in the way of production that's required, because the big blockbuster movie is going to be a huge amount of CGI and post-production, but they don't have that kind of luxury for a TV series, right? They need to crank out an episode a week.
It all boils down to money, right? I mean, it's all comes back to money, no matter where we go or what we think about or argue about. It's all money, right? HBO started it. producing really, really high quality television in the last 10 years or so. With Sopranos and Game of Thrones and a bunch of them. And then Netflix really kickstarted it and jumped it off the cliff with their incredible stable of programs that the money followed those trailblazers. And now, Netflix is willing to put up $100 million for 2 more seasons of one series. It's no wonder that people are not only flocking to Netflix, but so are the Hollywood talent, so are the directors, and of course the big one is so are the writers.
Yeah,
but it also is they're allowed to tell a story. These like House of Cards or other. What are some of the other TV things
House
I've
of
actually
Cards,
watched?
Westworld.
The Americans, and these things are telling they're telling stories rather than showing crazy action on the screen. And I think that's appealing to people because they want to be able to watch a story, and it's appealing to actors because they want to be able to play a character.
But it's now become the idea, the concept of the limited series has become kind of more the norm now, where in the old days of television, you used to want to do 25 episodes a season and crank those out as long as you can, and then syndicate it for as much as you can. That's not the case anymore. Game of Thrones, the most popular series on television, does 10 episodes a year. That's it. And next season they're only going to be doing 7, and the following season only 6. And then they're going to finish. They're going to be done. They're not going to crank it out until it's canceled like it used to be. They have a set story in mind or a set amount of time that they want to do this and then move on to something else. And because of that, yes, it's not as long, it's not there, but the quality that you're getting is so much better. It's unbelievable.
It's because they understand the business model of the 21st century, where a lot of the broadcast television and the movie industry doesn't understand the business model of the 21st century. And
I think some broadcast networks are getting it. They're getting some of the top talent. I wouldn't consider Kiefer Sutherland an A-lister movie star, but he was an A-lister TV star for a number of years with 24. And they're luring talent like that to do broadcast TV shows, and Designated Survivors is a good show.
First of all, Kiefer Sutherland's movie career is nothing to be sneezed at. There,
I didn't say it was. I just said he wasn't A-lister.
I'm just saying. He back in the day he pulled off quite the mean teenage vampire.
He was an A-lister back in the day. I'm talking about now.
So I think that going back to what Rob said about the or maybe Jeremy about CGI, I don't know. There's beer involved. To me, CGI is kind of the defining line about movies that I choose to see in the theater or not, and it tends to be movies that have a high special effects budget are the ones I would rather see in the theater because they translate so much better on the big screen. The experience is so much better. And movies that aren't that are more, a character study or just about the story and not so much about the visual experience, I hold off on because, like you said, the finances are just not there. And I think that that's what is compelling about a lot of the content that's on television and Netflix and the streaming services is that because they're not spending the huge dollars that you get out of a Marvel movie or the Star Wars movie or those things, they are focusing on character-driven, story-driven things that people can relate to and that they really get invested in. And I think that's part of the reason that they've been so successful with using this medium.
Well, one of the fun about that CGI is, when we go to see movies in the theater and the CGI looks amazing, and what Keith was going on about our home theaters, when we bring that awesome CGI that we thought we saw in the theater home, our TVs are now of such high quality that CGI sometimes looks pretty fake now. So.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Keith's been trying to talk for 10 minutes. Go ahead, Keith. Come on, buddy.
I just want to know. Way back in the beginning, we talked, about the shows, and there's 3 big movies that are popping right now. And I want to know: are we going to see out of you guys? Are you going to see one all or what's going to save to video, and that is of course Doctor Strange, which is out now. Opening tomorrow is Fantastic Creatures and Where to Find Them, and in just less than a month is Rogue One. Normally, I would only see the Rogue One. This year, though, I think we're going to try to make time to see Fantastic Beasts just because of my daughter and her attachment to Harry Potter. So I think we'll probably try to go out and see that one as a family, which means there's no way I can see Doctor Strange, even though I'd like to, in the theater. What are you guys at right now? Those are 3 big tent poles that are coming before the end of the year. Are you going to see all 3?
If Doctor Strange is still in the theaters after Thanksgiving, because we have all these family coming in, we're leaving for the weekend. So if it's still there, which I hope it is, maybe in the discount theater, I definitely will see Doctor Strange. Rogue One is going to be the one that I definitely.
That's the must. Yeah, I agree.
If I want to see Fantastic Beasts, but if I miss it, it's okay. I'll watch it on.
Okay.
Watch it on streaming.
Yeah, I'll likely see Rogue One just because a lot of people I know will be going and probably drag me along. The others, I don't know, maybe.
God
Now,
bless
Jeremy,
those people.
I don't know if you're aware, but Rogue One is actually a Star Wars story.
And I don't object to Star Wars stories.
Yeah, I just want to know. I mean, if we need
there's 3 true Star Wars stories, as we all know.
If we need to do a primer episode of the PNR show to kind of catch you up on what's happened in Star Wars,
well, that would be nice because
that.
we have not talked about Star Wars on this show ever.
At
least not in season 4.
At least a week.
Yeah. But no, it was all the way back last season.
So, Gary, what about you? You're the big movie goer. Are you going to go? You've already hit Doctor Strange. You going to see the other 2?
Yeah, I'll go see Rogue One. I'm taking time off work to go see that and make sure that we're there on opening day. And the Harry Potter one, I will likely go see. Yeah, and I am trying to hit more matinees than the prime evening viewing, so that is trying to save a little bit of money. And also, our theater, we can get discount tickets through AAA.
Nice.
So we've been doing that. So.
Score.
Very good.
Yeah.
So go see those hot, big blockbuster hits, or stay home and watch big blockbuster hits on your small, in quotes, screen. But while you do that, we're going to be giving you some picks. Our pick segments, Half Pints, coming at you right now.
Oh, is this where I do the music?
Jeez. You've only been saying let's move on for 10 minutes.
No, that was Jeremy.
Some kind of Orlando Bloom
Supercut.
Yeah. All right. So in the Half Pint segments, as you know, these are things we think you should take a look at: movies, television shows, apps, music, whatever strikes our fancy. We're going to bring it to you. And Jeremy is going first with an oldie but a goodie.
So my pick is 1995 movie Ghost in the Shell. If you haven't seen it, check it out. They're remaking it as a live action.
I've heard that movie is coming out again.
Yeah.
They're remaking a live action Hollywoodized generic version of it.
They're remaking a Japanese
Ubisoft
anime with an American Scarlett Johansson in the lead role.
It does. The previews for that look amazing. I really kind of do want to go back and see the anime version first. So.
You really should. You should see the original. And it's a huge franchise. It has a bunch of stuff.
This is probably, like, would you say, one of the top 3 most well-known anime films. I mean, like Evangelion and Akira. Ghost in the Shell is right up there.
Yeah, gotta see that.
So,
yeah, I'll be looking for that one.
I may have to go back and watch it.
Is that available anywhere, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm sure we can find it somewhere.
I mean, that wasn't what I was fishing for, but okay.
You know, I can't.
I'm sure if it was on
attention to the
Netflix or
chat.
anything.
No, it's. I know we've rented it from Netflix in the past.
I don't think it's on.
It may be on their streaming stuff. I don't know.
It might be
Hold
on
on.
Crunchyroll.
I'm sure.
Fan TV
I'm sure it's streaming
tell
somewhere.
us. Fan TV will tell us. While I look for that, Gary, what's your pick for the week?
My pick is group chat in Google Hangouts. People should read that. No, sorry.
I actually read that and decided I'd comment on it to try to get the fans involved.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
yes, Dropbox
not
is a
taking-
wonderful way to find that movie.
Okay. We'll let that one hang there for the federal authorities to pull out. My pick is, oddly enough, Doctor Strange. I went and saw it last weekend, maybe. I don't know when, sometime. It's really odd to hear what's his name, Cumberbatch,
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Trying to speak as an American, and that just doesn't work. But if you can get over that and the fact that it's Sherlock Holmes doing kung fu and magic, it's a good movie. It's very entertaining. It keeps a good pace. Marvel's done a great job of making the transition from comic book to movie. The visual effects in this movie, really good. And I would say for that alone, it's worth seeing on the big screen because...
Did you see it in 3D?
I know. I avoid 3D like the plague. If it was only in 3D, I would wait until I got home.
I had heard that this, if you've only ever see one in 3D, this is the good one to see in 3D.
I just hate 3D.
If I go see it, I want to see it in 3D.
Yeah, I'm not huge on 3D either, but this is, I've heard, is worth the extra 3D-ishness.
I can completely understand why they would say that, because the in this movie, even without being in 3D, and visuals in this movie are pretty stunning. I would say they are worth seeing it in the theater just for those two things alone. Yeah. And the story's good. It's it's a comic book superhero type of thing, with nice tie-ins to whole cinematic universe. So you can see where things are going with other movies that are coming out in that Marvel universe. So if you're a Marvel fan, you got to see this one because it's just part of the overall experience.
So to piggyback on to Jeremy's topic there, if you are a fan and want to see Ghost in the Shell, it is available on Hulu.
Oh, cool.
And,
thanks.
Okay. It's not as long as I thought it was. It's only an hour?
Longer than that.
Oh, an hour and 21. Okay, so it's not. Okay, got it.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Keith. As always, a mystery. What is your pick tonight?
For a guy who doesn't ever read the outline for the show, I seem to manage to tie it in pretty good. I've got two picks, both TV shows tonight.
Because I know
one is that's right, Rob. One is a pick others have made on the show, and I'm finally getting around to, and I just want to confirm their pick, and that is Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. We finally got on to that one, looking for a Netflixable sitcom, and I was a little uncertain after the first episode, but boy, it kicks in fast and strong after that. And it's great. That's just a perfect Netflix sitcom. Yeah. Definitely recommend it.
If you are a fan of the old 30 Rock show,
yeah, it feels like so much 30 Rock-ishness. Yeah, really good. And my second pick actually is a pre-pick because it doesn't actually come out till tomorrow. But tomorrow is the day I've been waiting for like 2 years now, and that is Amazon's premiere of the Grand Tour. Top Gear has moved to Amazon, and it first debuts tomorrow. So that's where I will be tomorrow night, consuming that. Nice.
All right. My picks for the week, I just have a couple of apps I'd like you to try. If we talked about this app a while back, I think it's a lot of fun. Smash Hit. You remember Smash Hit?
Oh, yeah.
Shooting a little pinballs through
ball
glass.
bearings through glass. Yeah.
Well, that company, Mediocre, has another app that they released a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and it's called Pinout.
And I got Pinout the other day.
Pinout is kind of a never-ending pinball machine, and I am a huge fan of pinball. I've always loved pinball. I have a couple of pinball apps on my iPad that I plug in every now and then. And I love Smash Hit, and Pinout is a really cool, just very similar in feel to Smash Hit and trying to get through different levels. But instead of smashing through glass, you're trying to knock your pinball through various ramps and gates and doors and all kinds of fun stuff. So it's not very expensive. I think it's $2 if I remember correctly.
Beautiful on an iPad.
Yeah,
on a
it's gorgeous.
iPad.
Yeah.
Sort of an endless runner for pinball.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I would put it.
It's very fun. Yeah.
Really good.
And
picked that to myself.
My other pick for the week is something especially for Keith. Keith is a huge fan of Hearthstone.
Right.
And I play Hearthstone.
I'm not picking Hearthstone.
I know.
I want to put this out
I
here.
wasn't coming down on you that you were.
Okay.
Hasn't picked it all season.
And I play Hearthstone
right.
on occasion too, and I enjoy it. I don't enjoy it as much as Keith does, but I did just give another CCG app, which is a collectible card game app, a try, and it's called Star Crusade. And if you pick up Star Crusade, what you will notice is that it has a very similar feel to Hearthstone, but it's set in a sci-fi universe, and there are enough different tweaks to how it's played that it makes it enjoyable enough as a kind of a different game. So it's got some cool graphics and kind of a nice, cute little, I won't say cute, but I shouldn't say cute, a nice backstory to it. So give Star Crusade, I believe Star Crusade, like Hearthstone, is free to start off with, and you can buy packs and stuff for cards you want to try. So give it a try. Star Crusade. We forgot to revisit the beer in the middle of the episode, but that's okay because we're going to come back to it right now. We've got 4 minutes because we have a hard out at 9:30 Eastern. So, gentlemen, what are your final thoughts on Samuel Smith's Nut Brown Ale? Gary, has your rating changed at all?
No, I'm going to stick with the 8. It might improve a little bit, but 8's a solid rating, so I'm going to stick with that. It's really good.
Jeremy, final thoughts?
Yeah, it got better as it warmed up. More flavor, a little smoother. I'm going with an 8 as well.
Keith?
For a brown ale with as rich malts as it has, it's surprisingly quaffable. You can really just throw this back if you want, and it doesn't affect the flavor at all. Therefore, I think it's probably, if not, it ought to be the standard for the style. And as such, I'm going to give it a 9.
Wow.
I gave it 4.5 on Untapped. I'm going to give it a 9 on PNRShow.
Yeah, I love this very much. Very tasty. Everything that the guys have been saying about it, it's very drinkable. I actually prefer my beers always cold, and I know that this is a beer that's supposed to be served slightly less than chilled because it is the British ale type of beverage, but I still enjoy it very, very much, and I will give it an 8 as well. So I think we're like 8.75.
8.25.
Oh, sorry. That's right, closer to 8 than 9. That's it. Okay, so let's tease our next episodes. And I think we're going to be off next week for the Thanksgiving holiday. Yes.
Yeah, I suppose if you guys are too busy or something, then I'll guess you can have the night off.
So in 2 weeks, we are going to be revisiting another old friend of ours from the United Kingdom, that being the folks at Guinness. And we're going to be drinking their new blonde lager.
Well, shit, I guess I better find that.
Yeah, you better get on that. And
I'm gonna get on that. I got 2 weeks.
We're actually going to do a mini unit on Guinness.
UK.
Hey, your unit may be mini, but that doesn't mean all of ours are.
Well, we got a couple.
Oh, yeah, sorry, we have another Sam Smith. I'm sorry. Yes. So we're gonna bookend them. That's right. I forgot. Guys mentioned it to me in the chat room. I forgot. We're going to do the Guinness Blonde, and then the following week, we're going to do another Samuel Smith's, the Organic Chocolate Stout, yes?
Yep.
I can get that.
So we'll bookend or have a nice little mini United Kingdom unit, and then maybe we'll look into doing a couple of Christmas brews or holiday brews for the season. So, gentlemen, any final thoughts? We're at 8:29.
Drink more beer.
Absolutely. All right, Keith, play us out. That's it for us, season 4, episode 2.
I'd rather have
Kind of No Return show. 1 hour on the nose.
I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale than live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail, so bring me lager for life. I'd rather have lager than life.
I will say this about the Ghost in the Shell trailer that just came out this week. I do not mind Scarlett Johansson in her little skin-tight suit. It was very pleasant.